Shalom, Yashala. Real quick video. Giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kadash. Kala Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kadash. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles, elders, bishops, great millstone. Much salutations to the brothers teaching word. The hope elect, soon to be the elect, most high will. The extended elect, 1/3 contrite spirits should return back to the most high blessings. No way is this Israel. This is not Israel behavior. What I mean by Israel consists of so-called Negroes first and foremost, because that's the head tribe, along with the northern tribe, which consists of the so-called Puerto Rican Cubans. So, in all, consists of so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans. Gadites, the Reubenites, so the Negro, the Haitians, Jamaicans, Puerto Ricans, we say so-called Cubans, Mexicans, we say so-called because, that's not their real name according to the Bible, according to the Holy Spirit. I'm going to play a little bit of this, and no way a woman, Israelite woman, is going to want a man like this, a man of this, so to speak, culture. And even in Israel, poor state, ghetto slums, whatever you want to call them, they don't do this. It's over here of America is all these Israelites. If Africa was the place, and it's and our own heritage and our culture, that definitely attraction would have been there. And what I'm saying by attraction, like, Africa being a so-called rich culture, how it is in America with the Negroes and the rest of the tribes. They would be trying to go back to Africa, man. And it's some good places in Africa. There's some rich places in Africa. I'm not talking about right here, but I'm saying when we talk about people like, comedian Godfrey and Akon, I think he's from Western. We talking about the Western of Africa, where mostly our people are when it comes to Africa. And you'll be able to see the difference in spirit. Now, let's see. Keep playing this a little bit. And the so-called white man, he gives gifts. It said gift destroyed the heart. He knows so-called black people wouldn't tolerate this environment. That's why he from ghettos, food stamps. He got a little, Section 8 setup, programming, all that, to where, hey, you're able to keep the neighborhoods at least decent, but we know it's violence, and we know drug affiliation a lot of times heavy in the hoods and the ghettos. But when you see the housing, it's decent, it's, of course, it's not nearly the best, but, it's not, some places are more slummed out than others, but, you get the point. They're not, like, out here like this, But if Jake was in this environment, he would be protesting every day, man. Or, reduced to this level. Now then you got DMX that runs it. DMX know he's in Israelite. He's passed. He's in the spirit world, but he knew he was an Israelite before he left, and I don't know how long into his rap career that he knew of the Israelites. I mean, a lot of New Yorkers knew about Israelites when they came out, when Israelites first came on the scene. One West I think Paul said it was Harlem, and and going back to Wu Tang, going back to even when they used to be, when a lot of people used to be into 5%ers, the Muslims and all that. They knew about the Israelites, and some of them were affiliation. But you could tell this clearly not an African right here, even though he say he's from Africa, because it says when DMX, the African nigga ran up on DMX, the legend. But I'm gonna play a little bit of it. Still my man, I ain't gonna say nothing. Got some weed, go ahead, smoke it, go ahead, drink it, go ahead, the fuck shit. I'm about to have you driving, popping your bag, so we got to stay friends. So that, go there, fuck it, what I got to say, nothing that you lose. Nothing I can think of, any nigga would choose. Got me taking the trip, taking twists, across seas, fucking stay back. With this nigga, I felt it. With this nigga, I would bleed. Give him a rat's hand. Nah, I think about it, you're that, my man. He said, wait, hand. Yeah, the rat. The spirit is there, and that's what we talk about, the spirit, and that's, these heathens don't understand that. Neither do a lot of these Christian Edomite theologians don't understand the spirit of the Most High and the spirit of his people. He said Israel is the salt of the earth, Peculiar people is nothing peculiar about the Africans or the small hats, the Jewish people, the so-called Jews, call themselves Jews and not Satan. It's nothing saltful about them. There's nothing special about them. All that bottle on the head and that dancing in the streets with black robes and skipping and doing their little dance, that ain't shit. That ain't shit, man. And that's why they mock us in the industry, for usury and for a different kind of upgrade of a slave market, just like, using our talents in the music industry, in the NFL, in the NBA, boxing, UFC, all those sports, and they use it for entertainment just like they did in the Roman Empire. This is Rome coming out back again. This is America. This is the last leg of Rome. This is the extended Roman Empire that the Most High is going to destroy. This is them rebuilding, pretty much trying to rebuild Rome in its completion, which is, boiling down to the New World Order. But, going back. So, going into that scripture, Exodus 11:7, it says, "But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how the Lord doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel, not only style, not only, wit and salt and culture, but also spirit, So, in between so-called being labeled as an African American when it comes to so-called black community, and we're not for the community, it's Baal Berith that that's not biblical. They don't want to live in Africa, and when they try to live in America, they be like, damn, it ain't working. So between Africa and America, they downtrodden in both places. Who is that? Dave Chappelle went to Africa. He came right back. Not right back, but he came back. And they, like I said, they got a term for a derogatory term for black people in Africa. They say kata, which means cotton picker. And you'll have some of them Africans telling you that, you know, they hate black people. Because they know, the Africans know that they're not Israelites. They know that we're not black. You know? I mean, we're not, they know we're not them. Let's see. Now, here's a few things right here. I looked up images and I looked up Africans. And it's going to show you true Africans. You know, African people, and look how it's spelled. Israel don't, you know. Now you might have some fewer people among these Africans. You know, and and even certain parts of Africa, North, West Africa, North, even South Africa, but some a few on the east. But you know, stuff like like this, that's not Israelite culture right here. And you never seen that with so-called black people over there. You ain't never seen anybody in school, you know, which Jake that's one of the places Jake liked to be stylish and most stylish, because you get to, you know, you're always in the midst of and accompanied by other students, filling the hallways with a multitude of people. This is not Israelite culture right here, man. When they talk about stretch forth necks in the scriptures, that women, you know, walk with stretch forth necks is not talking about that. This is not Israelite behavior. These women, and they spread dung on their bodies and their hair, which is disgusting. You know, dung is, I think they caca, something like that. Is shit. You know, that's not Israelite culture, man. Here's another picture. you get talked about heavy. You couldn't even be in class because the heathens are dirty too. No Israelite woman wants to marry a man like this. So all y'all talking about Africa and yeah, that's the motherland. Then take your ass over there and see what happens. Now, these these are Israelites, I believe. You got their head wrapped like the women. Those are traditions of Israel. A woman covering her head. They did that slavery. They don't do it now. You do have some few sincere sisters, but the rap we always say too, the sisters wear don't mean that they're in the spirit of a real Israelite woman. They may be Israel, but they're not. You know, they don't keep the custom. They just, you know, you had a lot of in the age of neo soul, and they did a lot of that with Erica Badu, Jill Scott. But they wasn't in the mind of an Israelite. They didn't keep the custom high holy days, the Sabbath. So, you know, but still, that is a custom of Israel. Which, when you see a lot of these Africans, women, they don't cover their heads. These real Africans, you know, actually a lot of them are bald, which that's that custom of Israel is a woman. It is a shame for a woman. I mean, a woman's hair is her glory, you know. So a lot of our women follow that trend too over here as a symbol of power or newness, you know, and some of these, in certain regions, these heathens follow us. They imitate us. I mean, you know. So you'll see some of the real Africans with their head covered, following the traditions of Israel, because we were scattered amongst them. Moses was in Egypt, you know. We were dealing with the Philistines. We were, you know, Babylonian captivity, Joseph in Egypt. So, and that lets you know too, they wasn't so-called white people. You know, ain't nobody's gonna keep dealing with Israelites. You know, if they were Edomites. You know, as far as these nations, even the Persians, they're melanated people too. You know, going back to Xerxes and going back to, you know, what was that Darius? No, Darius was Mede, and some of those other Assyrian emperors. You know, but now let's put black people. See what pops up. You know, pretty much totally different. Nelson Mandela is an African, I believe. But nowhere do you see a plate in the mouth or out there, you know, in the streets, crusty and 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 just dealing with the shit. Then you had a symbol of black power, which a lot of women were wearing afros, which they came out. I gotta do a small video about that too when they came out with the hair products to because they didn't. That was a form of certain form of power to when the so-called white man start offering jobs, he's like, well, you gotta straighten your hair, because we don't want you associated with no black power. That's a form of racism or threat to the American population society, just like they do us today as Israelites. Our natural culture, they be like, well, they're gonna start banning certain looks according to the Israelites. Oh, you're not with those Israelites, are you? You can, we can't hire you. We can't work here. Or you have, that look, that dress code of an Israelite woman. We can hire you. So yeah, the hair products came in with the conking your hair, like it was very popular. With Malcolm X's movie. I mean the autobiography of Malcolm X, directed by Spike Lee, played by Denzel Washington, when he was conking his hair, which it means straighten it out with it as a perm. So tradition of so-called white man trying to controlling the narrative, like nah. Anything that symbolizes power to black people, you have to digress. You have to size down. You have to look more presentable as you would to be an American citizen, which that comes with the racism and hatred, of course. But like I said, there's women in dresses, and if you look at the blacks in the '60s, we were wearing dresses and all that, and our women. The men were wearing suits a lot of times. You see the afros with our women. you know. But even just not being a Black Panther, you still had our women dress in dresses, you know. Should have did Google bit. And somebody told me that like just because a woman have an afro, it makes her look manly. Well, my next video, most her will. I mean, I'll points. Look at that, Diana Ross. It's a lot of beautiful women with afros, you know. And for the record, so-called Black people and Latinos, we have different hair texture, different kinkiness of hair texture, you know. So even the so-called Latinos have kinky hair. So here's another. I just showed a few, but I'm gonna actually do a video. Real pretty woman with an afro. Now I'm not saying that, like I said last time, I'm not saying that afro indicates that you're an Israelite or not, but you know, when it's so damn near not near no Africans, man. And also it says you should know my people by their fruits. It also says by their spirit. Because when, you know, the fruits mean like when you have children, they're gonna do what the parents do. That I mean, they're gonna keep the customs of the you know, their seed, their fathers, their mothers, you know. But they broke up the families, of course. So now the children are not listening to their mothers. The children are disobedient to their parents, so they do whatever they want to, you know. And then they go off and do customs of the heathen. They do customs of this America, you know. Back then, if you see those old pictures, the kids was like, you know, so to speak, like, you know, like sticking close to their parents because they know the slave master was out there. And they knew that, you know, danger was out there. So now today, you know, with this so-called freedom and liberty, they be like cussing out their parents. Like I can find my own place. I could do my own thing, and they end up on OnlyFans shaking their fucking asses and titties and shit. You know, and the man end up, you know, hustling and in and out of jail and shit. So, you know, and Jake think he's figured it out. Yeah, I can do this. I can hustle. I can make this and sell drugs and all that. When I say hustle, I mean selling drugs and narcotics and all that in and out of jail. It says Matthew 7:16, you shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes or thorns or figs and thistles? Matthew 7:20, wherefore by their fruits shall you know them. And if you go through, fruit is seed. I think the word is pariyah. Even Ephraim means to be fruitful. A pariyayim. A pariyam. So the fruit is of your fathers. You know, also it said the fruit that comes from the woman out of the woman's womb. I mean, out of between. I mean, let you know it's talking about seed. Let's see, because these Christians that talk about it means something else. It's in Deuteronomy. Let's see, one of the curses. See, Deuteronomy 28:4. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, the fruit of the body. That's your children. You know, and like I said, when you have a nation, you have a country, you have the people that live in a country, and it's all there. That's all what the country is. The country is basically after what the people is. You get a plot of land, and you start. You name the land. You put in your stake, they claim it the owner. You name it. You name it after your pretty much your people. Like this is the land of Israel. This is the city of David. This is when you have a house, this is the house of the Joneses, the Jackson, the Smiths, that whole house. So anybody that comes over, that house is really supposed to be your of the Smith family, of the Jackson family, of the. And if any stranger come in, they gonna have to respect that house. You know, so of the house comes the same fruit of the body, the same fruit of the people. Until the house get raided and robbed and raped, and now the children like, where we gonna stay? And now just everybody go their own way, because there ain't no house no more. So they have over here they have the House of Representatives, they have the White House, and everything that comes out of that White House is blood related, family. Even Obama and shit, he's related to Cheney. And he's married into their family. He's a Hamite, but he's married into to their family. So he's part, so to speak, not by so much of the male, straight male lineage, but he's married into their families. You know, that's why the Most High told us to be careful who you take in as family. But the fruit. If you look up in the etymology, it'll tell you one of the words should say is seed. I mean, yeah, seed. So you would know them by their seed, by the who people, by the people they are. Um, Proceeds, produce, like when you produce a child. You know, produce comes from growth of nuts, grain, seed. What do men say when they sleep with a woman? They bust a nut. That would be considered. They would try to say that's considered vulgar language, and then put Sukihana and sexy red on the video all day. The soil. So your produce, your agriculture. That's where culture come from. Agriculture. So if you're talking about culture, this is a to be honest, this is a we are in a culture. Because if you're not doing what the Americans do, they're going to call you a court. Yeah, because we're following the culture of our own people, of our own customs and practices. If they see so-called Black and Latino Native Americans, if they see Latinos studying Latino culture, they, that should be called a court, because it's not the way of an American. And some of it's implemented in there because they change the customs of the people. They influence the customs of the people. I'm saying, like the Native Americans, they wear fringes on their garment. They have powwows. It's not so popular now, but that would be considered a court. So court is nothing bad with the word court, and court itself is a culture. It's agriculture. It's coming from the seed of your fathers, the seed of your inheritance, your heritage, which is a certain way you do things, certain custom you do, and the ways you do things. You getting they talking about coexist. That's one of the American slogans for religions, to coexist. And then they got the Muslim sign, they got the Christian sign, they got the Jewish sign, and they got it. So then how are we the bad guys if they got something called coexist? Let me show you that word that they use. coexist sticker. Yeah, let me put a sticker. Coexist religion, and they got, they got the Muslim, they got the Jewish, they got hippie kind of. Well, it says, let me see right here. It says the Christian right here. They got the Welcome paganism. They got the Jewish thing right here. Science, Buddhism, and Islam. So how are we the bad guys? Like we just called it out to where we are a domestic threat and shit and domestic terror. Come on, man. And look, they got it like it's the new, and that's just the new world order. Because as long as they in control of these religions to coexist, but the main ones, because they, Israelis, they play the background like, yeah, we got the religious part of it. Y'all can, we'll deal with it in a dominant fashion of America controlling, even with the MOTB, and then we'll be the religious part of this new world order. So there could be such thing as a kind of like an orderly system in a religious form, and